Planet Dolan.
From caricatures enforcing stereotypes to a game made by the Nazis, we count 12 of the most offensive board games of all time.
Number 12.
Adultery. This is a game about exactly what you'd think it was, except it's actually a whole lot more literal and crass than you might expect. The aim of the game is to spend a good time with two different players of the opposite sex. Amusingly, the game gives out tokens between 2 and 5 minutes. Something tells me the creator of this game had some physical problems as well as some mental ones. I don't know if they intended the man on the front of the box to look creepy as all buggery, but he only reinforces the fact that most people bought this game as a joke gift. Or at least that's what I tell myself.
Number 11.
The Sinking of the Titanic. While most people who are currently alive think of the movie when they hear the Titanic, this wasn't always the case. In 1975, plenty of people remembered losing loved ones to the disaster, so when a board game came out glorifying the event, shit hit the fan. If you can manage to survive a wreck, then you go and get supplies from the islands, which doesn't even make any historical sense, but that doesn't really matter since the game was renamed to Abandoned Ship, which quieted most of the controversy. Even though they changed the name, it's pretty messed up to release a kids game about an event that very well could have been the cause of their grandparents' death.
Number 10.
Dressy career girl game. The 60s, back when men were men and women stayed in the kitchen or she gets what's coming to her. This game broke girls free of the shackles of what society says they should and shouldn't do by letting them choose a career. Of course, the careers available are rather limited, but I mean, surely no girl would ever want to be anything other than a nurse, secretary, teacher, model, dancer, or an actress, right? Funnily enough, it's also listed as an educational game, which is like 40 levels of wrong.
Number 9.
Gay Monopoly. Yes, you heard me right, and no, I'm not summarizing. The Parker sisters thought it was a good idea to release a game named Gay Monopoly. I don't know if it's as offensive as it could have been, but it's pretty damn close. For instance, there's a mini game where you have to say fabulous 6 different ways in order to get $3. Of course, the now defunct Parker sisters put in the subtitle A Celebration of Gay Life, and I can't for the life of me work out why they would have seriously believed this statement.
Number 8.
Little Black Sambo. Well, I mean, it is from the 1920s, but still, it's hard to look at this game without cringing in one way or another. You play as Sambo, and if you play it wrong, you'll end up losing your clothes. That you found on the ground, by the way, because that's literally all Sambo has to lose other than his life. It seems to have been more than popular in its day, though, because it was printed right up until the 1950s, but hey, it's not like they knew any better, right?
Number 7.
Blacks and Whites. This was actually created by a psychologist and was made to educate white people about how bad the black people had it. Of course, they went way too far in that it was impossible to win unless you were white, and despite this fact, or more likely because of it, it was disturbingly popular. Later on, it was changed so that all players could win, although the game still heavily favored the white players.
Number 6.
Beat the Border. This one's from the 70s as well, and it's all about the drug culture that was rampant at the time. You carry kilos from one country and sell them to another. Of course, being a creature of its time, the game throws in stereotypes about Mexicans left and right without so much as blinking. It's meant to be humorous though, so maybe it's satire? Even if it is, that's a fine line to tread without offending someone.
Number 5.
Darkies in the Melon Patch. It's not known whether or not this is actually a legitimate game. Most, if not all, that have been found on the internet were revealed to be counterfeit. Even if it's a hoax, it's a horrifically racist game. I mean, they managed to shove in as many stereotypes as humanly possible. Seriously, the aim of the game is to steal watermelons and chickens. If you don't see why this is offensive, then you've been on the internet for way too long.
Number 4.
The Suicide Bomber card game. Yes, I know card games and board games are two different things, but for the sake of this video, they come under one category. The aim of this game is to blow up buildings and take as many innocent lives as possible. The person who blows up the most people and causes the most damage wins. Not only is it racist, but it's also making light of an extremely recent event. I mean, it was released in 2003, which I'm willing to bet is too soon by most people's standards.
Number 3.
Jews Out. This is a game made by the Nazis for the Nazis, so yeah, it's pretty damn despicable. I mean, the object of the game is to get the Jews out of the city one way or another. The text on the front roughly translates to, display skill so that you may collect many Jews, and when you drive out 6 Jews, you'll be the winner beyond all question. And lastly, off to Palestine. On the plus side, as far as I can tell, you're only pushing them out of the city and not doing any of the nastier stuff that the Nazis did with them.
Number 2.
5 Little Nigger Boys. Oh yeah, this one's bad. The aim of this game is to shoot the caricatures with a rubber band. The person with the best aim wins, but if you hit the watermelon instead of the person, you get less points or something. There's not much written about this one, which is quite easy to see why. A lot of history isn't exactly nice to look at for too long or too hard. So yeah, you slaughter children as a sport, so it's obviously fun for the whole family.
Number 1.
Cards Against Humanity. And this is where I reveal that I'm a bad person, because I love Cards Against Humanity, but then who doesn't? And it totally deserves to be on this list because it was specifically designed to be offensive and wrong. But since it acknowledges that it's wrong and says that no one who's easily offended should play it, I personally think it's okay, but I can definitely see a strong argument for it being not okay. I can see kids 50 years from now looking back at Cards Against Humanity and going, wow, people back then were horrible. And yes, we are, but at least we've had a few laughs.
That's it for this countdown. And have a good one! Oh, Danger Dolan, I love random facts about life told really quickly one after the other in a countdown. Guess what? We have a whole channel dedicated to that. Links down below.
Like animation? Have some questions about life and the universe you need answered? Come check out Super Planet Dolan. Danger Dolan and I will answer your life questions. Links are down below.